Let's bring in our panel now. Susie O'Brien, who writes for the Herald Sun, joins us from Melbourne, and Stephen Senatiempo, who's the Radio 2CC breakfast host in Canberra, joins us from the nation's capital. Got to talk to you both about interest rates. A bit of a reprieve here, the first meeting under Michelle Bullock, Stephen, but worrying. She talked a lot about uncertainty and says there could be more interest rates on the way. It's incredibly frustrating when we're all putting up with high petrol prices. We know that's driving up other costs, yet that very inflation then could lead to additional costs on our interest rates.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't think anybody was surprised that the interest rates were put on hold today and there wasn't an increase, but wouldn't it be nice if the federal government actually put their hands back on the wheel? If the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, rather than say in the space of, I think, about 30 seconds in that grab you played earlier that Australians are doing it tough about 19 times, do something about making it less tough. I mean, I've never seen a Treasurer, and I've seen some pretty bad ones. We had Joe Hockey, we had Wayne Swan, but I've never ever seen a Treasurer say, well, it's the economy. I don't know what you want me to do about it. How about make some changes so that the cost of living comes down and the greatest impact on inflation, which is government spending, is curbed? That would be a really good start.
Yeah, Susie, this is the thing that gets me about Jim Chalmers. He talks like he's a spectator. He talks like he's a commentator on the economy. His great hero, the bloke he wrote his PhD on, Paul Keating, used to tell us how he's shifting all the levers and running the economy. Probably overstated his influence at times. This bloke just wants to say, oh, it's all happening to people and we think you're doing it tough. But what on earth is he doing to actually liberate the economy and reduce the cost of living?
Well, maybe Jim Chalmers needs to watch a bit of Utopia and, you know, be seen with a hard hat, be seen to be actually doing something for a change. I mean, we know the reality that we're all facing is that we've got a 40% chance of further interest rates by the end of this year. And I don't know about anyone else, but that scares the bejesus out of me. We're already paying 50% more for our mortgage repayments. And I'm one of the lucky ones because I actually have a mortgage. I filled up my car today. I put $100 in my diesel SUV, and you know how much it bought me? 3/4 of a tank. And now I bought the car that my dad suggested I buy about 8 years ago. I can't afford to upgrade it, and I'm not as smart as him because he would have driven across town to get cheaper petrol. And, you know, I think Jim Chalmers and everybody else in the government has to help us all out. And whether it's cutting the fuel excise, whether it's some more handouts, you know, they need to watch the inflationary pressures of these sorts of things. But Jesus, there must be more they can do than what they're doing at the moment, which seems to be absolutely nothing.
Stop spending. That's what they can do.
I think what they are doing is bad. Yeah, exactly. They've got to pull back on their own spending to reduce the inflationary pressures. They've got to do something on energy. They're just making energy more and more expensive, and that's filtering through to everything. It is just shocking.